comic book fans, and welcome to a suddenlycomics.com video. It's a Monday night. Alan and I are known as the price variants. I'm the English price variant. He's the Canadian price variant. And he's everybody's favorite Canadian price variant. So there's only one
There's
Canadian.
only one. I'm one of one. I'm the least favorite and most favorite. Okay.
Right. So this week, as usual, Alan has picked up picked some comics from sales at Heritage last week, and currently he's running at every single one at being worth less than it was the last time it sold.
Yeah.
See if we can continue that trend. The comic market continues to dawdle down at the bottom of the lake, uh,
hmm
waiting for somebody to hold a hand down and pull it out. Right.
hmm
So let's kick on and share my screen. And our first comic, ah, it's
This one I wasn't familiar
Exotic
with.
Romances number 27. And I'm going to guess that this is some Golden Age artist.
Ah, very good guess. It is a Matt Baker.
Right. Okay, it's a nice cover. I like it.
So I picked this on the list because it is a Matt Baker, and I can bring in a little bit of my golden age knowledge and experience. Matt Baker books are still hot. They're still commanding big money. Now, there's a few that have cooled off because they were overly priced for a little while,
Right.
but these ones where it's kind of embracing the code, where it's kind of like going from pre-code to code.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, this 1955, 1950 to
This is going to
1957
be
era.
56 or 55.
Yeah, it's sort of like end of Matt Baker's career because he doesn't live for that much longer actually.
It's 56.
Um, uh, they are actually very desired and quite rare because a couple of things happened during the code era, that early code era. The print runs really dropped, right? It's sort of like the early 2000s after the comic book, bust, right? The print runs were pretty low. Well, the runs in that 1956 era were really low. So you're already dealing with that scarcity like baked into the equation. Um, Another thing is people are buying it based on the artist. They're not buying it based on like the content. Compared like if you look at coded books, pre-code books, they're based, it's based on the content being like, oh, extreme, some gore or something crazy. They're buying this based on, oh, it's a Matt Baker, it's a beautiful art. It's got all the Matt Baker
Yeah.
features.
Yeah, it's fractional art ownership.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. I do collect romance comics. This is a lot of money, this one.
Yeah, I actually feel like this
$528 for us
seems a
eight.
little low, actually, strangely enough. I know it sounds weird to say that, but I think it's a little low because
Really?
it's a high grade and yeah, it seems a little low to me, actually,
Well, I'll
even
tell
from
you,
that.
I picked up my first Matt Baker cover in the last week.
Okay.
I think I showed you, those IW comics I was showing you the other week.
Yes, those are cool. I actually like IW.
So I was looking through the list of those, and there's a Matt Baker cover on one of them.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Jungle Comics, I think it's called. It's a jungle anyway. Um, I went onto UK eBay, and there was a guy selling one in a low grade
hmm
for £10.
Okay, that's a no-brainer. Buy
So
it.
it was. I bought. There was one selling in the States in about the same condition for about $60. So I thought, okay, that'll do that. Right. Anyway, let's have a look at this one. $528. Oh,
Yeah,
Alan, well picked again. It's
it's down by inflation.
it's down
Inflation
by
numbers.
inflation. Well, hang on a minute. So it's exactly the same copy, I think. Yeah, it is. It's the same copy. Somebody bought it in 2022 during COVID for $529, and 3 years later they sold it for a dollar less.
Yeah. So it's dropped by it's
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 dropped
pretty
by a
stable.
dollar.
the weird thing is, I don't think when people buy books, they don't even factor in that there should be some inflation baked into the price. But if you look at that, shows that we've had crazy inflation.
Yeah, well, we
Like,
have.
I don't think people realize how much inflation we've had in the last 3 years.
Well, it's about 10% according to this, because 525 to 575 is about $50. So about 10% in 3 years.
Yeah, that's a fair amount of inflation,
There's
actually.
only five of these graded, Alan.
I figured this was rare. I
Yeah.
wasn't even familiar with this one. So,
This isn't the highest
yeah,
graded. There is an 8.5.
yeah. Um, so really, to me, this is a stable price. It's not like, it's not one way or the other, but I would have thought this was a bit low, because I've seen Matt Baker covers kind of going a little crazy, um, and especially these ones where it's just that early code, have been doing really well. Actually, on the weekend, I picked up a Matt Baker as well, and I got it for a steal. Now it had a bit of it looked like some water damage,
Yeah.
but it was a graded copy. I got it for like $15
Hey.
on Heritage, and
Oh,
then plus the buyer's premium,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. So,
But to me, it's like a 3.0. It was a title that most people don't realize Matt Baker did the covers. I was like, oh, that's Matt Baker. I'm gonna I'm gonna bid on it,
yeah,
and I won
that's
it
why.
for.
I think that's why I got mine cheap because I don't think people realised what it was.
So
The
there's
seller didn't have
actually,
it. The seller was not advertising it as Matt Baker cover.
well, here's the trick that you can find Matt Baker's really really cheaply if you use this trick. Because he is a hot artist. Like, people that know that it's Matt Baker will pay crazy amounts for it.
Yeah,
So what you do is you search Matt Baker on eBay. When
yeah,
you go to eBay, search Matt Baker, you'll find a whole bunch of books, right? And where they're like Matt Baker, and the
yeah,
prices will reflect that. There'll be
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
prices. Then you go back, write down all the books that have Matt Baker, that said Matt Baker, and then what you do is you search just by the name of the book itself.
yeah. And see if
And
anybody's
then,
listed it without his name. Yeah,
like, I'll see it so many times where, the Matt Baker price is like crazy number, like $500, but then the non-Matt Baker price is like $100 or $50, something like, just like 5x or 10x
right,
difference.
Alan. You better stop now because we're teaching everybody your tricks.
Yeah, so that's some of the tricks that I do when I buy things. Actually, I have a list of all the Matt Baker covers. So I've gone further than that. I'm a
You're
extreme collector
definitely
on that.
you're an extreme. You're an extreme
I
collector.
have a, I actually have a cubby devoted to Matt Baker covers.
Okay, all right. Alan is a aficionado.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, and it is an Uncle Scrooge. Is this the one you were talking about on your channel, Alan? Is this the first Uncle Scrooge?
No, it isn't. So
Right.
this is but this is a major first appearance.
Okay.
So Uncle Scrooge has a few villains. He has the Beagle Boys.
Yeah.
He has Magica Dispel is another one of his big
Never
villains.
heard of Magica to spell. So there we go.
Uh, she uses magic. She's a magic
Okay,
girl.
that's a strange.
Yeah, and she's trying to get his wealth. They're always trying to get his wealth. Um,
Gyro Gear Loose backup story. I don't know who he is either. It shows how little I know
oh
about.
really? He's an awesome character. He's the one that is kind of like the inventor.
Oh,
He's
okay.
always inventing some kind of
Probably
cool
know him if
things.
I'll probably know him if I saw him.
He almost kind of looks like a stork, or not a stork, but I'm not sure what he is. He's got like a short beak, kind of goofy
Oh, I
looking.
know the guy. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a bit goofy. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, it's a nice copy. It's an 8.5. It's very clean.
that's a really high grade
I mean,
copy. I
look how
mean, this
clean
is
that staple is around there. Look, it's very clean.
I have this in like a 3, something like that, a 3 or 4. Mine's pretty beat up comparatively.
Yeah. This is like this is how Alan looks in his bed, except instead of dollars, there are golden age Matt Baker.
Comics.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. How much does this sell for, Alan? It sold for
600,
60.
660.
Is that
Yeah,
good or
that's
bad? Or have you picked another one that's bombed?
I don't know. That seems like I didn't pay much for my copy, but this book is kind of a desired one, so I would think that's in line with what it would go for. I think that's actually not a bad price.
The record
Oh, it's record. Oh, phew. Okay, finally.
at
And
last.
it's a
Alan
legit
picks the winner.
record
It's
too.
got to happen occasionally. A stopped clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
There's
this big
only
record,
69 of these on the census. What's the census here?
69.
Yeah, wow. And how much has this gone up?
Well, Alan, between uh 2009, when the last sale occurred, and
Oh,
this
okay.
sale, it's gone up from $90 to $660.
That's actually a huge increase.
It's a huge, even though it's how many years ago? How many? It's 16 years. It's still not a not a bad return on your money. That is better than inflation.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, this would have been a good place to park your money
It would,
because,
yes. You should have, what you should have done, instead of buying Apple shares, is you should have all
Uncle Scrooge.
69 graded copies of Uncle Scrooge issue 86, issue
Yeah,
36.
36. Yeah. Wow, that's cool though. I'm glad I finally get one that's up. I feel like there is hope for me now. Um, so yeah, but this is like this one, and if you're interested in key comics for Uncle Scrooge, there's this one, and then there's her first cover appearance, which is also another big book. There's also a Under the Radar book for Magica Dispel. That was a Whitman variant that would only be available in the three packs, and that can go for thousands of dollars. So there's a few keys that involve Magica Dispel.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look out for her. Okay, I'm not really a Disney collector, so
I like Uncle Scrooge.
yeah, I know. I thought you might. Right. Oh, it's a Spider-Man.
So
Uh,
we got one. I had to have one
you did,
semi-usual
and I
suspect on the
quite
list.
like this one because it's got Doom on it.
This
Uh,
is Doom's first crossover.
yeah.
Um, and I picked this because there was actually I had three choices this week of Doom books I was going to put on the list. I chose this one out of the three because it's a crossover with Spider-Man. I just thought it's one that I've been trying to get personally, and it's one where like I don't have this in my collection. This is one I need. Um, but I really think that there is some hype around Doctor Doom, so I was kind of curious if that is reflected in the price for this book.
Okay. This has got a nice custom label on it. I do quite like these custom
Mhm.
labels where they're relevant to the comic, not when they're just random custom labels. This one is relevant. It's got Spider-Man on it.
Yeah,
Right. It's a 4.0. It's a roughish 4.0.
yeah, it looks like a 4.0 though.
It does
It's a
look like
solid
a
4.0.
4.0, yeah. $870. Don't know. That sounds about right to me.
I was looking at 3.0 copies, and I was looking at around that $600 mark.
Okay, so this might be a bit high.
So so this might be like kind of in line with what you would
Okay.
expect it to be.
There's a few more of these. There's
I mean, this is one
3,500.
that's going to have like a huge COVID spike, so you kind of got to ignore that, just so you
Okay,
know.
okay.
I can tell you right now.
So let's compare it to pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, this was a $600 book. It's now nearly a $900 book. So it's done all right.
Yeah, it's done well. If you look at the COVID price, I think it was like a $2,000 book or something stupid.
Peak was 2.4.
Yeah, I told you it's something crazy. Yeah. COVID prices, we gotta just sort of block that out.
Yeah,
Just
I
block it
think
out
this
because
is, as I say, this is now found its new level. I think this is
yeah,
about right. I think this price is
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
870. Sounds about right to me. Fair market value, 900. Yeah, fair enough. I'll go
yeah,
with that.
yeah. It'll fluctuate around that. So,
Alan, that's now
um,
two that haven't gone down in price significantly.
and if you look at this one, this census is like 2,000, almost 3,000, right?
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5. Geez. Okay, so this one has more on the census than all the other books that we looked at this week.
Easily, I think if you add up all the other books put together, we don't think we come to 1,000.
Yeah, I know. So isn't that crazy? And then this is the most expensive so far.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of funny how that works.
Well, it's supply and
Um,
demand, isn't it? How many
yeah.
people want Forbidden Romance issue 27? Right. Okay. Oh, Yellow
I thought
Claw.
this one was just this is just me picking something that's cool. I think this is
Well,
just
this is
cool.
almost you saying I'm going to have a Golden Age comic on my list.
Well, I felt like I snuck a couple Golden Age in with
Yeah, I
Matt
mean,
Baker and this one.
this is really, I would have said Yellow Claw. I know this is in the, he's got the comic.
This is a very Golden Agey feel. You're right. You're right. This is me sneaking stuff in. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
this is Alan playing his Golden Age hand in the Silver Age.
mhm.
It's a nice cover. The Yellow
I,
Claw.
it's really cool, I think,
I think
actually.
there's somebody wearing a
You got the
gas
guy
mask.
with the gas mask, and it's a kind of a cool book. The Sleeping City, yeah, it's
Yeah,
really cool.
he sent the whole city to sleep. Is he Fu Manchu's brother?
I'm not sure about that, but he's definitely a Fu Manchu style character.
Jack Kirby and George Roussos. And a Bill Everett cover, Bill Everett.
He's awesome. So yeah, so lots going for this book.
Love it.
Just a really cool book.
Love it. Well, look at the price though.
I know
That is definitely a golden age price, not a silver age price.
that's what
Right.
I would say too. So this is like $2,640. That's crazy. Um, yeah. Somebody really wanted this book. Okay, let's see how it did.
It's a record, Alan. You've hit two records that you said it's
Oh
a
my
game of two
goodness.
halves this week. Alan couldn't pick a winner in the first half, and he's now had two records.
Hmm. And
Right.
this is
So
actually even with inflation record.
yes,
Um,
45 of these graded. Between this was a good investment as well, Alan. Between 2018, which is pre-COVID, that's not a COVID
mhm.
price. This has doubled in 5 years.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I actually have the Yellow Claw #1. Um, that's his first appearance, actually. But this is a pretty cool book. So is this near the end of the run?
I don't know how many gold claws there are. Let's have a look. Is this the highest
Yellow
graded?
Claws.
No, there's an 8.5 and an 8.90.
There's a 902. Um, but definitely
Yellow
a
claw.
huge
Let me
sale for this
just check
book.
the Grand Comics database for you. Yellow claw. Four issues.
So this is probably is this, and that's the last issue right there.
That's issue four, I think. Yeah, that's issue four there.
That's a really cool cover too. These Yellow Claws had really great covers.
Yeah, there's a few people who really like. They're hard to find these.
Yeah. Well, I have Yellow Claw #1, which is his first
Okay.
appearance. Um, Actually, I don't even think it's his first appearance. It's the first appearance of Wu, the guy from the Ant-Man series.
Oh right, yeah.
But yeah, so this is a cool book and a cool little run. It's not the last issue, but it is a cool one. Um,
Right, there you go. And the second record. Now then, I
yeah.
was amazed to have this next comic coming in top spot, Alan.
Yeah, this one I think is somebody trying to get a run of Solar, the Son of Adam in 9/8. I feel like that's what's happening here, and they're willing to pay up for it.
Well, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. When I came back into comic collecting in COVID, the first series I decided to collect. I had an issue of Solar Man of the Atom, and I loved the cover. And I
Hmm.
decided that I wanted to collect the full set, and then they weren't that expensive. Uh,
Yeah.
and these covers, and I am very annoyed with CGC because they don't give the cover artist on here. Do you know who the cover artist is?
No, you mentioned it before, but I
Yeah,
forgot the
it's a
guy's
guy
name.
called George Wilson. does a
George Wilson, yes. Yeah,
did
you
a
mentioned that
load of
before.
covers for Gold Key. They're
And
all
they're always these beautiful painted covers.
beautiful painted covers. This is not my favorite George Wilson cover by any
No, it's not as cool as some of the other ones, but
no.
it is interesting. He is like kind of getting out of this weird monster that's like metal
I mean, it's
monster or
not
something like that.
impossible at some stage George Wilson could get a following like Matt Baker has, uh,
Hmm.
because his painted covers really are amazing. Yeah, so I have the entire run of this. I think at one stage I had three copies of this particular one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
none of them graded. I mean, everything I bought raw.
So
Um,
this one did the best of all the like. There was a bunch of solars that
oh yeah,
sold
there
this
were.
week,
Yeah, yeah.
and this one had like sort of a was kind of an outlier in terms of the
What I did
price. I was like, oh, I gotta put it on the list.
It's a much better looking solar cover. I much prefer some of these other this one. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's other ones that
I
were
mean, I
better
think that's a better
looking.
cover. Now it's a 9.2, not a
996, yeah. So,
9.6.
but you would double the price, right? So that's still
But
cheaper.
that's a 9.8, that one, and I think that's a better cover as well.
That's a better cover to me too. So when I saw the price, I was like, wow, okay, something's going on with this particular
This
book.
maybe this one's rarer and harder to find, the one with the robot.
I don't know, but I think, maybe it's just people were fighting on it and they went a little more
Yeah,
crazy.
maybe there's a couple of people who've got a 9.8 collection of Solar Man of the Atoms, and they were,
Now I'm going to assume that this is a record because this seems really
oh, it
outliers
must be a
price.
record, surely. Well, it is because it's the only.
It is for the wrong reasons, but okay.
There are only 33 of these graded.
Okay. 33 graded.
And this is the only 9.8.
So it's going to go wonky just because of that.
Yeah.
Um,
This is the
the,
highest
on-
graded.
the only way we can find out what if this was a good price or not is look at a 9.6 maybe, or look at like look at the other grades and see how much they go for.
Well, this comic is up in a 9.6 as well. So it sold for 427 in August 2023.
Okay. So typically between a 9.6 and a 9.8, you get either a double or a triple effect.
Yeah, well,
So this should be like a $1,200 book. It went double that.
it's gone high because it's the only one in a 9.8. And
I actually think somebody overpaid. I'm going to tell you right now, that's my prediction.
well,
I
you
bet
may
it
think they've overpaid, but it's one of one, Alan.
doesn't matter. I think they
Well,
overpaid.
let's say you've got an entire collection of Solar Man of the Atom in 9.8s,
I know it's
and
kind of
you're
cool.
missing that one.
I know you pay whatever
Are you
crazy
going to let
price you
it
want.
go? Because it might never come up again.
Yeah, it's true. But I think if it's sold again, I bet you'd get it between 1,000 and fifteen
Well,
hundred.
yes, because there's probably only two people in the world that wanted it, and they were both bidding
That's
on.
my point. That's my point. So I think somebody overpaid. I just feel like they yeah they paid up because they wanted to get that run filler.
Well, yeah, I bet they don't think they overpaid. I bet they were delighted to have got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean 6 times is a bit much. So between a 9.6 and a 9.8, that's almost like where you say, okay, I have a 9.6 copy of this. I'll crack it, I'll press it, and I'll keep on doing that until I get the 9.8. You know what I mean? It's like it's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think somebody overpaid, but
Okay, so
so
Alan did okay in my
I
show.
actually kind of balanced myself out a bit.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
hit a couple of records, one flat. So not too bad this in my show. He's making made up for his performance in his own show. So
Hmm.
head over to now you've watched this. You're allowed to leave my channel and
Go watch me fail
and watch
miserably.
and watch Alan's channel. Um, yeah, so that is it for this week. We'll be back next week with more lovely, jubbly delights from the Silver Age of comics. We'll see you then. Bye.
But